Well, software is magic. You think how it should work, you create it, and then it solves a problem.
Bill Gates' parents had a problem. Bill was far ahead of his classmates in math and science.
I always loved science, and I had a few great science teachers. Science was my primary focus.
To challenge him academically, Bill Gates' parents enrolled him in Seattle's Lakeside Preparatory School.
Lakeside had a teletype that connected over a phone line to a computer. And so all it did was let you punch paper tape and then send those computer characters to that computer. So it was pretty primitive.
Gates had found the academic challenge his parents wanted.
From a very young age, I was very ambitious about pushing the limits of writing great software, making software that did things that had never been done before. And that became my obsession from age 13.
While other personal computer pioneers concentrated on hardware, his obsession with software eventually led him to drop out of Harvard and, along with Paul Allen, form Microsoft.
Microsoft was at the center of creating the personal computer, and a whole industry grew up around what we created. DOS and Windows led to a large software industry.
The Microsoft operating system, which grew from programs Gates first wrote in the 1970s, now is installed on more than 1 billion personal computers worldwide. Now, Gates has turned much of his attention to philanthropy. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is fighting some of the world's most deadly diseases, responsible for tens of millions of deaths each year.
Fortunately, there's only a few dozen diseases that account for why the poorest suffer so much and why they can't get to economic self-sufficiency. And I see in these next few decades that we can eliminate a large number of those.
Though the problems are daunting, leadership provides hope.
The wealth of the rich countries enables them to help out the poorest. I think the visibility of what needs to be done is stronger than ever before. And yet, it doesn't happen naturally. It takes some leadership, takes some brilliant scientists. And so to be working with the people doing those things, it's quite magical.
In the U.S., the foundation is perhaps best known for its investments in education, devoting more than $5 billion to education at all grade levels.
Education itself has been pretty much the same. A person standing in front of a classroom. Now with the internet, why can't we find the very best lecture and put that together with the very best interactive software, with the very best way of testing your knowledge, and have something that is more accessible and more motivating, more engaging than the way education's done today.
Bill Gates' legacy is one that has touched more than 1 billion people, and one that may help save millions of lives and improve the education of countless more. And it all began with software.
I was lucky enough both to learn a lot at my job at Microsoft. It was one of the best jobs in the world. And now I'm taking the resources that I got there and applying all the lessons of science and incentives and complexity to go after these diseases. And it's an incredible privilege.
The 2010 Bauer Award for Business Leadership is presented to William H. Gates III for co-founding Microsoft Corporation and providing the visionary leadership that enabled it to become a global innovator in business and personal computing. Through his philanthropic work with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Mr. Gates has made major contributions toward improving access to health care and education for those in need throughout the world.